who doesn't want a ninja strategy to build your content arsenal with? Okay, now in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to share with you exactly what we do with our clients when it comes to building out content for specifically the job seeker. Those people who are out there on Google searching for and researching their career path or their next step. Those are the people that are untapped and mostly ignored when it comes to what most staffing agencies are doing. In the next 3 minutes I mentioned, I'm going to walk through with you exactly how to build this content arsenal out. I'm Janet Bartoli. I'm the founder of Bartoli Consulting Group, and I am an expert SEO, and I help staffing and recruiters increase job applications by 60% each month. And this is one of the ways that we do that. Okay, now first what we have to do is really kind of establish and really understand what content exists in your website. So when we're working with our clients, we always start with a full content audit because we need to identify all of the different type of content that you have. Now hopefully you have more than 5 pages, but we have worked with clients who did start off with just a home page, an about page, a contact page, and then maybe a description of the different jobs that they have available. And they may also talk about workforce solutions for different employers or different companies that may be interesting. So that's kind of what we have to look at first. Hopefully there's a blog. If there's not, we need to create one. You don't have to call it a blog. You can call it a knowledge center, a resource center, because that's effectively what it's going to be for your potential audience. Now, we always kind of want to drill down and understand what are those positions that we really want to focus in on and get the most, maybe we'll want to increase job applications for in particular. So I'm using an example for an IT staffing company. So this is an IT staffing company. They have positions for cybersecurity analysts. There's different other technology types of jobs that require skill sets with machine learning or artificial intelligence. So this is going to require us to kind of focus in on those specific skill sets or those specific career paths. So this is how we're going to do that. So what we'll do first, we're going to take cybersecurity as an example. Cybersecurity career, no experience. Do you think maybe a graduate from maybe some college or graduate level program might be interested in something like this kind of content? I think this would be ideal. This is exactly what they're looking for. So we create or we structure this in a what we call a hub and spoke. Maybe you've heard pillar and post, there's different ways to call it different things. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you understand the sort of framework, because this is what will help expose your website to get more traffic. And really, at the end of the day, search engine optimization is about understanding what your visitors are looking for, because while we're trying to work with Google, there's no manipulation involved. What we're trying to do is attract the audience who would find this content most interesting. That's what Google is really interested in. Who has the best content on this particular topic, and that's what they want to serve up to those people who are using the search engine. And that's exactly what it is we're trying to do. So we have decided that we're going to make this our hub page. So what defines a hub page is it's going to be a guide, or it's a very in-depth piece of content. And so generally speaking, the number of words that we'll use in here is somewhere between 2,500 and 5,000, which just gives us a rough range. It's not less than 500, but if we're really going to go in depth, it should have a bit more content than just a few hundred words, of course. So that in there, we're going to have subtopics in that guide. Maybe we'll talk about training. It could be a link to a graduate level course or some online training. Certifications, maybe there's some national certification organizations, and we can talk more specifically about the different certifications that would be available for those particular job seekers. networking, and just getting to know, whether through LinkedIn or where you can link out to another blog post of yours talking about updating your LinkedIn profile. And then experience, internship, just kind of talking through, leveraging some of maybe their past experiences that might be beneficial. Technology and software. So these are all the subtopics that are going to go into that guide. And then we're going to have what's called spokes. These are mini blog post pages, and these are generally 1,000 to 2,000 words in length. Cybersecurity career goals, and we're going to link directly back to the guide, and that guide is going to link to that new blog post to get that new blog post some exposure and visibility. Then we can have a national cybersecurity organization and conferences. We can have a whole blog post on maybe if there's some interest about the different conferences that are held across the country that they might be interested in participating in. Online training and internships and some courses. Again, this could be where if you're working with a local university and they have certain programs, you could link out to those. Software used, that links again back to the technology and the software that we're talking about. That could be a whole blog post. So we've got the guide, the hub, and the spokes. So in the guide, as I mentioned, the words, 2,500 to 5,000. What we have to make sure of, it's got to be in depth, and that's why we want the volume or the amount of content in there. It has to be a valuable piece of content. There is someone who is searching for this. They're really doing research, and so they really want to understand in more detail, what is this career all about? How do I get into this career if I have no experience? We want to include resource links. So maybe if there's whether it's a governmental or some private organization that would leverage give them some information, whether it's about certifications or different online summits or trainings. Adding a video and images will definitely help punch that guide and really kind of give it, what it does is it adds more value to that piece of content. So now you're more apt to get links for people sharing that piece of blog content, because you've got something more valuable than just 500 words, block, paragraph, and not really giving you a whole lot of valuable information. So adding those pieces there would really help. And then I added an expert. So this is last, because expertise is not, as the writer, this doesn't really make it an absolute requirement. However, when I did Google search cybersecurity career no experience, the first listing blog post was written by a doctor who happens to be a leader in cybersecurity and IT. And so because of that, I added it in there, because Google is very much, it's very important for them to really have, if you can leverage any expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. And so we can do that if if it's not, if you don't have one on hand, there are many professionals that will have no problem, writing a blog post on this particular topic, and you can, in exchange, they're leveraging their own expertise as the author, whether it is a professor at a local university, it could be an employer who may have someone internally who can write an article on that. That would be really helpful. As I said, it's not a requirement, but it is a nice thing to have. Now, these are, as I said, your spokes. Here's 5 pieces of content. You've got the guide, and then you've got 4, and you could go even more, different other, sort of spoke pieces of content. This shows that when all of this is done, and you do this on a consistent basis, you are the authority when it comes to, if you're an IT staffing agency in this situation, you are the authority on this. You can speak to, effectively, those people who are early on in their career, looking for a job, looking to get into, in this particular instance, cybersecurity. They don't have experience, and you're providing them a whole guide. And then you're providing other materials around that. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments below. If you want a checklist, I do have a checklist of how to structure your pillar and post, your hub and spoke framework. If you'd like that, comment SEO below, and thank you for watching.